Julie. Thanks, Julie. Oh, sorry. Can we start recording, please, Robert? We're on. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you and good afternoon, members. Provost Jim Todd.
Yeah.
Councillor Stephen Canning.
Present, thanks.
Councillor Ellen Friel.
I'm here, Julie, thank you.
Councillor John McFadden. Oh, I have an apology from Councillor John McGee. Councillor Elaine Cowan.
Here.
Councillor Maureen Mackay.
Present, Julie.
Thank you. Councillor David Richardson.
Present, Julie.
Councillor James Adams. Councillor Ian Linton.
Here.
Councillor Douglas Reid.
Here.
Councillor Graham Barton.
Here.
Councillor Graham Boyd.
Here, Julie, thanks.
Councillor Barry Douglas.
Here, Julie.
Thank you. Councillor Neil Ingram.
Here, thanks, Julie.
Councillor Peter Maben.
Present, thank you.
Councillor Claire Maitland.
Here.
Councillor Beverly Clark.
Here.
Councillor Sally Cogley.
Here.
Councillor Kevin McGregor.
Here.
Councillor Linda Maben.
Here, thanks, Julie.
Deputy Provost Claire Leach.
Here, Julie, cheers.
Councillor William Lennox.
Here, thanks.
Councillor Alison Simmons.
Here.
Councillor Billy Crawford. Councillor June Kyle.
Present.
Councillor Jim McMahon.
Here, Julie, thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Neil Watts.
Present, Julie.
Thank you. Councillor Drew Filson.
Yep.
And I have an apology from Councillor Jennifer Hogg. Thank you, Provost.
Thanks very much, Julie.
John's here as well.
John's there. Thanks, John. Thanks, Julie. Declaration of interest are there, folks. I don't think there's anything unless anybody wants to raise a concern. I don't think everything's okay, I believe. And thanks for earlier this morning, the Community Planning Partnership Local Outcomes. This is Improvement Plan and Performance Report. There are recommendations there. I'm going to bring in Ian to give us a wee synopsis of what went on this morning. Thanks, Ian.
Thanks, Provost, and good afternoon, members. So, yeah, the recommendations are set out in paragraph 2 of the covering report, dealing mainly with the LOIP, the SPI's Health and Social Care Annual Performance Report. So clearly the conversation we had this morning has informed some of that as well. We'll take all of those paperwork pieces of documentation away and update where we think fit. But actually, I think what we had this morning was really supportive comment around the direction of travel for a lot of the activity we're doing. Just to pick up on a couple of themes that I think emerged, particularly around the first session we had, and that was mostly around about the presentation of the data that Cara had done. So there are some, I think, some further follow-ups that we'll now take forward, Provost, around the ward profiles, the issuing of data, and the conversation we had around the boundary change and where those population shifts have been. So we'll do a wee bit more work of that. We are committed to having that further session on the 5th of November anyway, and a lot of that will materialise there. So that was one action that we will certainly take away. Thinking then about the 3 themes that the strategic leads presented. Safer communities, quite a clear emerging issue around about the support for women and the victims of crime, and the focus on the reducing of stigma. So again, stuff that's already in the delivery plan for safer communities, but we'll see where there are areas that perhaps we need to strengthen some of the commitments around that. On well-being, quite a lot of discussion round about the promotion of person-centred care. I'm generalising here, but there was a lot of discussion round about all of that sort of theme and those themes of living well, dying well, etc. So again, some really good comments. Ties in with one of the documents that you've got in front of you for council to approve, as well as the Health and Social Care Partnership Annual Performance Report, and a lot of that is contained in there, as well as the delivery plan. And then lastly, Linda's input on the economy and skills agenda. A lot to comment round about the poverty, and that it's not just child poverty, but that's across all ages, and we will tease some of that out in the delivery plan there as well. picked up on the comments around the Ayrshire growth deal and the core project as well, and the place to see progress against that again is within the economy and skills delivery plan. Provost, so that's a very quick summary of what was a really productive morning and some really good engagement. So all of that helps us just refine some of the commitments we have in those delivery plans within the LOIP and within the approach we're taking to the presentation of data, etc. So with those comments, Provost, just happy to point you to those recommendations again, paragraph 2. Thanks.
Thanks very much, folks. Before I open it out, can I just ask that we'll take each theme as it came. So the first one was safer communities, second one wellbeing, and the third one education and skills. So I will exhaust the discussion round each one if there are questions and comments. So I'll open it up to members for the theme of safer communities. And please, if you can keep anything within those groups, we'll get through the business a lot quicker. So it's open for safer communities. If there's anybody get any comments, any questions, any. Councillor Mackay.
And I have the delivery plans and I have been looking at them as I have been listening this morning, open in front of me, and I'm aware that we don't have anything within the delivery plans which actually states what the impact is going to be. I think that is something that it is perhaps a loss for us, but it might be that Ian has an explanation as to why that's the case. That's a comment. I'm not going to make the same comment again over the other 2 delivery plans, Provost, but the comment would be exactly the same.
Okay, thanks, Provost. Thanks, Councillor Mackay. So the impact is measured through the local outcomes improvement plan. So you would want to see that correlation between what's in the delivery plans with what's in the LOIP. So that performance framework that you would perhaps expect to see some of that impact is within the LOIP. And that's been a bit of a journey for us, Provost, as you know, Councillor Mackay. That's an evolving bit of work for us. The LOIP has, if you were to look at the LOIP 3 years ago to compare with it now, we have tried to shift that to show much more of that impact. We're not saying we've got it right yet, but that is the journey we're on. So the local outcomes improvement plan will continue to be the framework within which we will try to show where there has been impact. That so what question. I think we have got to the point now where we have a much clearer idea of what are the measures that are really important to our communities and to partners and to elected members. And I think that, as I said, that's an area we want to continue to strengthen over the next 3 years as well. Thanks.
Sorry, just to add, I think it's particularly important because all these things we do have positive benefit, but they have differential positive benefit. And given the financial circumstances that we're in just now and going forward, we're going to have to look at each of these things and say what makes the most benefit for the investment we do, and actually us be able to evidence that to use as members so that you can make the best possible choices, because none of the choices are going to be easy, and particularly where we reduce things or stop things, people will feel hurt. And actually being able to explain, well, we've got the evidence and we're doing this because we can see investing in that one actually gives a more positive benefit. So I think the impact stuff and actually evidencing the impact is really, really important for us going forward to support informed decision making.
Thank you very much, and that's very, very helpful, because I think it is about drawing the clearer lines. And I'm making a presumption, Ian, I might be wrong, and please correct me, that this is some of the work that we are actually experiencing and we're beginning to see. I think is David McDowell still here, in terms of the work that's being done in relation to the support that we're getting from Glasgow, as well in terms of the supporting us in relation to the growth deal and making sure that we're doing exactly the same in relation to the growth deal as well, about getting the most impacts and being able to see where those impacts are actually coming. And I think that is the world that we're now actually in.
No, thanks for that. Folks, anything else on safer communities? David, yeah, you want to come in? Sure.
Thanks through you, Provost. Just to kind of taking Councillor Mackay's point, I mean, just members might not be fully aware, but we've engaged with the Glasgow region in terms of an economic model for the growth deal project. So the Moorfield project is one of the first to go through that process. And if ever you don't want three economists in the room at the same time, that's probably the one meeting. But we did go through a kind of due process where we have now got a really robust economic model for the growth deal projects that can be taken forward as for other projects, capital projects, when we're looking at external funding bids, and therefore that information needs to be mapped out and linked in with Ian's team. So there'll be work going on about that. So hopefully that's going to be positive moving forward.
No, thanks. Are we okay, folks? There was a lot of discussion this morning. Leader?
Thanks. No, I think it's really exceptionally important, given the circumstances of the AGD and the growth deal, and the fact that there's a kind of moving feast just now. And I think, looking at the impact, as some others, I'm not going to integrate, some others have got it wrong. We need to keep getting it right. And I think, just particularly the example you chose, Moorfield there, I was there last week to see a couple of new factories moving in to some of the space there, and some of the kind of ways going back to when it was funded through the European community. And, our judgment then was right then, and it's still right now. Just basic requirements that new industries and new enterprises haven't changed that much, but we still need to do that work, as Councillor Mackay said, just to see the impact of our investment. And when we come to negotiate with others, whatever government it is, we're well placed to try and get more.
Yep, good, thanks. Councillor Boyd.
Provost, just in the terms of the Ayrshire growth deal, just for clarity, it was mentioned this morning, I think 4 projects within East Ayrshire. Could David McDowell just please give clarity what they are? I know one's a Halo. I went to the initial meeting with the Halo 2012. It's turned out a lot different than then. We've got the office block. Maybe David could let us know what's the plans for the rest of the vacant land there and what the Halo is going to do moving forward, and just the other 3 as well. Thanks.
Yep, through you, Provost. Yeah, I'll start off. 4 projects are the Halo, which was obviously privately run by the Halo board. We've separately got 2 other projects in Kilmarnock, Moorfield, based at Moorfield. If members will remember, we brought a report back to talk about.
David, sorry interjecting, but Eddie's reminded me we're in public session, so I know you won't, but if there's anything of a delicate nature, we'll steer away from that. Thank you.
I will steer away. So we have projects in Moorfield, and members will be reminded that we had the AMIC project, which was going to be based at the Belfield interchange, just in land there. We took the decision in front of Cabinet to move that over to Moorfield, where we'd already purchased the land to sit alongside the engineering park. So we have a master plan for that site. The master plan's currently in planning just now, and probably members will see we've been bringing in together further information to allow us to get the application determined. That will be put into public domain, I believe, this week. So there'll start be a further consultation process that the general public will be able to see the actual overall proposals for that site. But there's a detailed master plan. That detailed master plan has 5 plots just which will be up for sale as the engineering element to that park, which is delivered under one part of the growth deal, and separately the advanced manufacture investment corridor for the food and drink area, which is the centre of excellence of food incubator units and your food warehouse space. So that's the third projects, and then the 4th project, as mentioned earlier on today, is the core. So in terms of the one in Kilmarnock, we're obviously at a stage now where we're looking to get inward investment into the plots. We're also looking at the marketing of the actual units themselves, and we're working with a whole range of different businesses. In terms of Cabinet, we'll be bringing a report to Cabinet setting out the core project and just how we're looking to finalise the core as we phase it going through. We've already done a phased approach to delivery of Muirfield. So once we've got a number of ducks lined up in terms of the planning consent in place and the procurement prices back, we'll bring a report back just to set out to Cabinet and to members just how that project's going to be delivered over the next year.
Yep, thanks, David. That's really useful. I just think the amount of public money for East Ayrshire Council and UK Government it's put into the Halo, it's pretty disappointing that we've still got all that vacant land round about it and we've just actually got one building there. And also just a final point, I know the leader mentions often the Belfield roundabout. I think the Belfield roundabout interchange is really key if we can try and get that improved to bring these Ayrshire Growth Deal projects together. That's just a final wee point there. Thank you.
Totally agree with the Belfield interchange. David wants back in.
Apologies, Provost. I should have covered that answer in terms of the Halo. The Halo is obviously, as all members will be aware, obviously, when the site was vacant and derelict, we ended up successfully getting the Ayrshire College in one part of the site, Halo building in the other. The master plan allows for housing in the rear end of the site, as I would say. So if you're standing at the front street and Hill Street looking towards the railway or to the north, there's going to be housing in the back area. And my understanding is that if we have a master plan in place, there'll be ongoing discussions between the Halo and a number of developers about taking that forward. So that's where we see that, and that actually aligns with the town centre living and obviously the 20-minute neighbourhood. So that's quite promising there. And in terms of the other question about Belfield interchange, there's been letters to government just regarding the lack of funding through obviously levelling up. We were unsuccessful there, and obviously part of the local development plan allows us to, if we can get an inward investment into that area, which is set out in the local development plan, it will look at how we actually strategically link with Transport Scotland, Scottish Government and others, including the developer, to try and look at a solution for the Belfield interchange. So that's an ongoing matter, Provost.
Thank you. We seem to have drifted into education and skills here. Safer communities, anything further with this part? We're okay, thank you for that. We're going on to wellbeing now. The wellbeing part. Claire Maitland.
Apologies, Provost, it's to do with the last paper, so I'll withdraw, thank you.
No, it's okay. We're going to come to that after.
Well, it was actually about the Ayrshire Growth Deal, and it was, I remember sitting on planning for what was happening with the other areas there, and I know David mentioned some of it, so as far as I can remember, it was planning in principle, but I just wondered if those plans were still available for us to see. That might give us an idea of what the plans were then. I don't know what they are now. Thank you.
Good. David?
We obviously have a period of time when the growth deal was considered with the obviously detailed plans for the proposals at Belfield and Muirfield, and then from there there are current plans that show the whole master plan. We did a members briefing, so some of the members here came and saw that, and we'll happily do that again. And as I said, I think as members will be aware, as you said, that the whole process is out for public consultation, so happy to meet members and give them an update.
Yes, Councillor Maitland, yep.
Apologies, I don't think I made myself clear. It was in relation to the Halo that Graham had raised. Thank you. It was the plans for the Halo, shops, sports stuff, housing. Thank you.
Sorry. Wellbeing. We're on to wellbeing, folks. Any comments about that part of this morning's discussions? Nobody online. Had some good discussions this morning. Great. And then finally back to education and skills. So we've exhausted that, I think. So the recommendations are there, folks. Page 2 of the paper, recommendation to council. Are we okay with the recommendations? Anybody otherwise minded? Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for coming along. We've just got an announcement to make. Eddie's going to make an announcement of a protocol. But thanks, everyone, for coming along, and I hope you have a peaceful weekend. Please go along Saturday night to Cumnock Town Hall to see the brilliant Scottish Language Awards. Over 200 people coming along. So please come along and be thoroughly entertained. Thank you.
Thanks, Provost. So this is my role as a returning officer. So following the election of Lillian Jones and Elaine Stewart as MPs, they have now both formally resigned as councillors of East Ayrshire Council. Subsequently, there will be by-elections for both seats. The notice of election will be published on the 26th of September, with nominations opening on the 27th and the actual by-elections on the 14th of November. With the count taking place on the 15th of November. So,
thank you.
Ian, could you stop the recording, please? Thank you.